Hi, my name's Keziah Gibbons. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the founder of the Guided app. And this is this week's tarot reading for the week ahead. So this week we have a Solstice tarot reading. I'll talk you through the spread and the positions, and then we'll go straight ahead and pull some cards. So there are 5 positions that I'd like to do for this reading. The first is daylight. So we have the solstice this week, and here where I am in York, it's the summer solstice. And I'm really amazed at the moment. I've just come back to York after a long time in the south of Portugal. And I'm really amazed at the amount of daylight that we're having. I mean, honestly, the birds start singing about 3 o'clock in the morning and they don't stop all day. So daylight seemed to be really, really important. And I know that for me, and this fits in with sort of scientific statistical findings, daylight it's a mood booster. I find that I really enjoy it. I appreciate having it around. So this position in our reading of daylight is about what is facilitating life for us at the moment. So what can we call on to boost our mood if we're feeling a bit low? What is sort of not necessarily center stage at the moment, but very much present and influencing our experience. So that's daylight. And then along with this daylight, again, here where I am, we're having long days and short nights. So I'm going to pull a card for each of those. So the long days represent processes that are taking a long time. So your long-term processes, we all have them. What stage are you at the moment, and where are you with that? And then the short nights, your shorter-term processes, things that may not have been going on for very long, may not go on for much longer. So that's those 2 positions. And then there's a liminality about this time. There really is. This is one of the times of the year when it's said that the veil can be thin. And I don't know about you, but I'm quite aware of that at the moment, and a kind of liminality in which all things are possible. And yet nothing is definite. So there's room for liminality in our reading today. And then finally, the final position is the sun. What's shining on you this week? So that's the 5 cards that I'm going to pull for the reading. And the deck that I'm going to be using today is the Oriens Animal Tarot, which is a beautiful deck, and has some lovely images in, which I will share 5 of those with you as we read. So I'll invite you to take a deep breath. Just go inwards and ask to receive what you need. And if there is something that you're working with or working through or processing at the moment, and you'd like to ask for guidance on that, you can do so now. And then let's go ahead and pull some cards. So daylight, what is facilitating things for us? What is present a lot for us at the moment? And here we go. We've got the 2 of Swords reversed. So the 2 of Swords tends to be, I'll just turn it upright for you so you can see here this little fishy floating in the cosmos with those 2 swords. The 2 of Swords tends to be about, it can be as simple as decisions, having a couple of different choices and having to choose between, often not knowing the way. And when it's upright, I often read it as, here's an invitation to go inwards, to find your intuition, to trust your intuition, and to follow your intuition. So with it being reversed, I'd say still there is that opportunity to work with your intuition, absolutely. And also that may be challenging just at the moment this week. So you may find that it's not easy to access your intuition. And this can leave you feeling a little bit more stuck with whatever decisions that you have to make. But really the way through that is about going inwards. The Swords is the suit of mental processes. So mindfulness practices, breathing, anything logical can also be really supportive here. And be aware of the difference between logic and rationalization. Just look out for that as well. So that's our first card, the Two of Swords reversed. Now for the long days, where are we in our long processes? What's happening in the things that are happening for us longer term? And we have the Ace of Wands. So things might be starting to happen. So if there is something you've been working on or with for a while that seems to be taking a long time, or seems to have been going on for a long time, this Ace of Wands is really, it's a gift of energy. The Wands is about fire, it's about energy. It's a gift of energy, a gift of possibility. And of course, when you're offered a wand, the thing to do with that is to direct it into the magic that you want to make. So here is an invitation to direct your energy in the way that you want it in your longer term processes. The short nights then, the shorter term processes. What have we got? The Five of Pentacles, so that's interesting. So the Pentacles is about earth and the material. And the Five of Pentacles is often about what we don't have or lack, or the mindsets around that as well, or the patterns that can develop around that. And you'll see here it's a very sad picture, polar bear on an iceberg. So I'm sure that touches us all and kind of gives us an awareness of the fears and the discomfort that can absolutely go with the Five of Pentacles. It is interesting that we have this Five of Pentacles in the short nights and Ace of Wands in the long days. So at this moment, in this kind of magical time of year, it may be that we have an opportunity to move through a Five of Pentacles phase or a Five of Pentacles experience, and to really direct our energy into what we want in the long term, and so not so much bypassing anything that might be discomforting or uncomfortable in the short term, but yeah, sort of bypassing, not bypassing that, but also not letting it be everything, you know, not letting us be robbed of our agency. I think there with that Ace of Wands and Five of Pentacles, allowing ourselves to be, to direct our energy, to wave that magic wand. And the thing with aces as well, with this ace and other aces, it's like they're at the beginning. They're at the beginning of the numerical cycle of the minor arcana suits. And so we always have to put some energy in there. You know, we're offered this wonderful opportunity with the Ace of Wands. If we don't take it, if we don't direct it, if we don't stick with it, it won't go anywhere. But if we do, then it can go to wonderful places. Liminality then, what is offered to us in the space of liminality? Oh, look at this. Wheel of Fortune. So this is a major arcana card. So it's of big life lessons. You'll see there the wonderful scarab beetle, one of my favourite creatures of all, and all the symbolism that goes with it. And the Wheel of Fortune is really about how, well, there's always a question for you, you know, what is fate and what is fortune? And if you discover the answer to that question, please let me know, because I don't yet know. So this is something to be within this liminality, you know, especially there with these other cards that have come up with that Two of Swords reverse, that sort of challenging decision, with that Ace of Wands where you can direct your energy the way you want to, with the Five of Pentacles where things might not be so easy, you know, sitting with this Wheel of Fortune in this liminal space and discovering what is within your control and what is without your control, but also trusting in the cyclicity. And you know, this is a solstice reading. We're at the peak of a cycle at the moment, and that cycle will change. So you know, we will move throughout the course of the next 6 months to where the days are very short and the nights are very long here where I am. And you know, on the other side of the world, the days will get longer and the nights will get shorter. So we have this cyclicity, and there's cycles in everything. You know, we have cycles. There are cycles of the sun and the moon and the seasons. There are cycles within our body, every day, every month. The cycle of life that we go through, which is part, of course, of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So there's a lot in there. There's a lot in this card, in this liminality. And that's really an affirmation that anything can happen. Anything can happen. So just trust it. I know that's not always easy, but just trust it and allow yourself to get familiar with the wheel so that, you know, even when there are those things you can't control, at least you recognize them as part of the wheel and are aware that the wheel is always turning, things are always changing. And then finally, to bring it all together, we have the sun, what is shining on you, and it's the Nine of Wands. So here we go. This Nine of Wands, we have this horse, looks also a bit unicorny to me. And the Nine of Wands, again, this is about energy, fire. And the Nine of Wands is about how you, well, firstly, we had the Ace towards the beginning and the Nine is towards the end of the numerical sequence. So things that are coming towards a point of cohesion, perhaps, coming towards a, doesn't necessarily have to be a finishing point, but a finishing phase. And then the Wands are resources and they can be used as resources. And the Nine of Wands can also be a very protective card. So it can be about how we protect ourselves, how we protect our communities. We have to be aware whenever we get into a protective mindset. We have to be very careful not to see threats where there aren't threats. And we have to be very careful not to get sucked up into narratives which are going to tell us that people or things are threats when they're not. So that's something to be aware of as well. But this is really, look at that movement in the card. This is a lovely, powerful energy. So in terms of this position of the sun, what's shining on you at the moment, you know, it is this this affirmation of that cycle of wands, of fire, of harnessing your inner fire, of directing your intention and particularly your creativity, so expressing as well. All of these things will serve you well this week. So in summary, we had the Two of Swords reversed for daylight. So, you know, there might be a decision or a question or an uncertainty that's with some of us this week. And then for the long days, we had the Ace of Wands. So in the longer term processes, things are starting to become possible. In the short nights, we had the Five of Pentacles. So this might be about fears or lack. This too shall pass. And especially with that Ace of Wands, you know, we can direct our energy intentionally about that as well. the liminality, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a time of year where anything can happen. But in context, with any decisions that you have to make, and with that wand, that Ace of Wands being available to you, what would you like to happen? And how might you align with that on the wheel? And then finally, the Sun, what's shining down on you, the Nine of Wands. So how do you express your creativity? How do you protect yourself in a way that is nurturing? And what is, if not fully formed, almost fully formed, that is going to lend you its energy at the moment? You might already know what that is. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Please do come and check out the other tarot resources on the Guided by Keziah app. The Magician Cycle, a 13-month workshop tarot intensive, started at the weekend. The recordings from that live session will be on the Guided by Keziah app this week, and registration is now open for the next session on tarot and creativity, which is on the 15th of July. So I hope to see you there. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead, and solstice blessings.